Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Quick update here from Bitcoin from our earlier video. Quick recap, we're having this ascending channel that's looking very, very juicy for a potential breakout. We worked all the way up to about 38,450. Now we're back down to the 37.7 mark. Okay. When we looked earlier, there was a ton of liquidation at lower price points. So let me go ahead and see if that is still the case. We'll quickly note that and kind of move on. So let's take a look at the 12-hour time frame and kind of see where we're at. Okay, so we're going to just zoom right in here to the tighter time frames. We can see that the liquidation, it's changed a little bit, but still fairly heavy. 37,500. We got some likely high leverage longs available at that point. Okay, so again, keep in mind when there's a heavy concentration of liquidation just below the price action or just above, then the price action will typically gravitate towards that with a bunch of small limit orders. And once they hit that target, essentially they stop pushing really hard to that level. So again, right there between 37.2 and 37.5 is a heavy concentration. We've got a decent amount of, I guess you could say, shorts at 39,100. Those are probably not super high leverage, of course, because if it was, it'd be a lot tighter. So again, not terrible, just kind of the way that it is right now. Taking a quick look here at open interest. Let's rerun this here and just see if there's anything definitive. There's some heavy positions at about 38,200, and the second most amount is 37,900. Okay, so majority, in fact, I'm kind of curious of where those are at, if those are longs or shorts. Looks like a lot of late longs. This is what I'm telling you guys. Don't be a late long. Try not to be a breakout trader. We can see here 38,000, and roughly 38,200. So most of the longs are underwater right now. And of course, take a look here at the shorts. Big surprise, all the shorts are in the green. We had some liquidations, of course, occur when the price wicked up to 38.1, because that was a current support level at the time. But now things have changed. So let's talk about support and resistance, kind of see where we're going from there, and just kind of figure things out. So on the 4-hour time frame, there's a few things I want to distinguish, but just before we do, I want you to note that we are still trending positively above the 20-day simple moving average. We're still maintaining higher lows effectively and higher highs, with this one exception. Okay, so if you kind of forget this bullish engulfing candle followed by a pretty strong bearish candle, the situation has still worked itself out quite positively in a nice ascending trend. And typically these kind of trends that continue to ascend upwards break to the upside. Okay, we saw a very similar scenario too in the past, roughly right here, where the price action was trending, then it broke up and it created a new channel. Okay, so again, we could very well be in that situation where it breaks to the upside and establishes a new channel between 37.5 and 39,000. We'll see here in a moment, of course, but that's generally the consensus right now. 4-hour time frame. Let's quickly note a few things here. Fair value gap below the price action, we know that already. 36,700 is the lowest point for that. Are we going to see that? Possibly. I wouldn't be surprised, because most of the time there's fair value gaps. Bitcoin has a tendency to just push the price action down to correct it. Okay? And with us touching the upper range of this ascending trend, I wouldn't be surprised we see a pullback to the lower half, somewhere in the 36 to 36.5 range. Again, just whales doing their thing. But the charts don't tell us that's going to happen. I mean, we're still maintaining above 50, below 70 on the RSI. Money flow index is quite high in the overall sense here. We did peak up over these moving averages here, which is very important. And overall, we have good momentum. Now, is it going to pull back? Potentially, but you got to keep in mind this most recent high, 37,600, this Fibonacci level of 0.786 should be the new low, mainly because it was the recent high and it could work as a new low, right? So again, rejection, once you pass through it, becomes a support. It's a very common characteristic. So generally speaking, we're on the right side of the tracks on every situation here. TD sequential, we're not overextended whatsoever. We could very well see the price continue. Keep in mind, we're trending into the weekend here, or we're about an hour and a half away from this candlestick close. So when that candlestick closes at 5 p.m. Pacific, or 8 p.m. Eastern, however you look at it in general, that's the concept there. When that happens, the price starts to kind of slow down, if you will, over the weekend. It's less common, of course. Lately, last couple weeks, we have seen some volatility over the weekend, but you're going to see lower volume, and in turn, the volatility is a little more severe, but not quite as dramatic. In other words, we're probably going to be range bound throughout the weekend. That's a pretty common occurrence. So just be mindful of that. But we could see some shenanigans in the next hour after this video is recorded. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Look at the clock. If it's after 5 p.m. Pacific or 8 p.m. Eastern, then there's a chance it might chill out and cool down. We did see this previous liquidity level swept perfectly. If you take a look at that, 38,250. That's essentially right where the 4-hour candle closed. So we can kind of summarize that there's no more liquidation to the upside that really needs to be hunted. There's more liquidation we saw, once again, on the charts here at this lower price point. Roughly, once more, we're looking at about somewhere between 37.5 and 36.5. Okay, so heavier concentration there. While we do have a decent amount of shorts at, again, 39.1, I think that's less likely to be hit immediately because once more it's further away, but also just simply put, it's one of those situations where the price is hitting this upper range and it would make sense for it to pull back to the lower range. Okay. Again, we're basically trading in a range at this point. It's just an ascending channel, and inevitably it breaks to the upside, just based on the fact that it derived from the downside. Look at the 1 hour. We can go ahead and quickly summarize here, just that we are still above the cloud. We're starting to lose momentum. The lagging span is going to intersect with the price action here soon, and with all these liquidity levels swept, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the price action pull back. Just bear in mind we do have the cloud here to potentially support us, so there's a chance that, once again, this 0.786 fib at about 37.7 could be the new support level, and the price just kind of goes sideways here for a while. Okay, so we'll pay attention to this. I'll continue to analyze this chart throughout the weekend, but in general, it's one of those things we got to just be mindful of. Okay, so keep your head on a swivel. We'll see what happens. Also, make sure to jump on over to our newest exchange here, exclusive partner with Crypto Cash. If you use my link below, you get $20 towards futures. Really awesome feature. Mainly use them because they have no KYC, no VPN, and coincidentally, they're a phenomenal exchange. I love them. Trailing stop loss, and you can have multiple take profit targets. It's a really cool situation. So be sure to check that out. Super happy to hear that it's working really well for my members. Hope you have a great rest of your day. We'll see you on the next one. Thanks again for your time.